spring is a time to start wearing light and bright perfumes. And there are many of those. There are hundreds of those types of perfumes, but I've compiled a small list here of fragrances that I think are really good choices for spring. You know, it's getting warmer, you want something a bit maybe more floral, more refreshing, so we'll start off with one of the most springtime perfumes I can imagine, also good for summer, but this is Light Blue by Dolce & Gabbana, specifically the Eau Intense version for women here. This is amazing for when the weather starts getting warmer. It mainly has notes of Granny Smith apple, along with some lemon and then some wood notes. Primarily, you're gonna get the green apple and the lemon because they're super strong. They're in the top notes, but they're gonna persist throughout the duration of when you wear this perfume. Super delightful, refreshing. You get that. This perfume has the most realistic Granny Smith apple note I have yet encountered. There are some others that have the green apple notes. They're always never as authentic as Light Blue, which impresses me. I think it's a very nice touch to have that crisp apple note. Adds a little bit of sweetness to the perfume, but not too much. It has that very natural, sort of sweetness. And the lemon also brightens it up. And then the wood notes ground it. But to be honest, the wood notes are relatively subdued compared to the lemon and the apple. So that's really good for, it's good for any time really, but especially good for the spring and summer. So it's just an all-purpose sort of fragrance that you can use in the morning, in the evening, whenever you feel like. So the next one is this unisex scent, Voyage d'Hermès. Here you can get an idea of how refreshing it is from this horse galloping across the water. This is a very crisp, very it gives me the impression of like this like a margarita, kind of lime, icy, salty, sort of watery fragrance. Very citrusy, strong citrus notes, lemon notes. There's no lime notes, but it smells a lot like lime to me. And then green notes, which give it a certain dewiness. The whole perfume is very light, very refreshing, and it's just nice to wear. As the weather gets warmer. It's crisp, but it's not too crisp. It's not too fresh or cold. Perfect for when it starts warming up again, and it's a clean fragrance as well. My main qualm is not very long lasting, maybe 5 hours, sometimes less, it depends. So that's my main qualm about it, but it is a very good fragrance, so keep that in mind. Then, this is actually similar. This is Aqua Dijo, which technically is a men's fragrance, but citrus fragrances are pretty much unisex, 99% of the time. This is very similar to Voyage d'Hermès. Extremely citrusy, strong aquatic notes, very Italian, to be honest. You could imagine yourself standing on the edge of one of those rocky Italian cliffs with the salt water blasting up the rocks towards you. Very fresh, but it's a good thing, longer lasting than Voyage d'Hermès. Surprisingly concentrated for what it is. It's probably around 6 to 7 hours, 7 hours of longevity, and a very pleasant fragrance for both men and women. It's hard to go wrong with it unless you hate citrus notes for some reason. just a very pleasing, very agreeable sort of fragrance. So then the next one is a little bit different. This is Lemon from Coty. This is very similar to Chanel number 5, but lighter. Florals, aldehydes, a little bit of musk, but it's very subdued. This is a very nice springtime fragrance because of how floral it is. It's very feminine, powdery. It came out in 1927, so it does have a little bit of an old-fashioned feel, but it still remains classic because, I mean, the types of florals it uses are classic. It's hard to go wrong with them. So very nice if you're looking for something very light and powdery and feminine. This is an eau de toilette, which means it won't have huge longevity, maybe around 5 hours, but again, a very good daytime, springtime perfume. So it's a very good option for a classic floral fragrance. And another classic floral is Red Door by Elizabeth Arden. This is similarly floral and powdery, but stronger than Lemon. It also has some fruit notes. There's some plum in there and some honey, which is a very unique note, which gives it a powerful sweetness, but it's not overwhelmingly sugary. Sometimes sugary perfumes are a bit too much, too much. But Red Door is nicely balanced. It has the natural floral sweetness along with the honey note, and the florals themselves are powdery and very feminine. This is a very, very feminine perfume overall. And it's really great for spring because, I mean, the flowers are blooming. This thing smells like a bouquet of flowers, so, you can match it very well with the season. So this one is Sublim by Jean Patou. This is one of my favorite fragrances. It very, very citrusy, but not in the same way as Aqua Dijo or Voyage d'Hermès. This is more of a warm sweetness. It's like you're laying out in the sun and someone near you is cutting up an orange. So it also has some warm floral notes as well. But this is a very, if you want something warmer and not as quite as cold or sharp or refreshing, this is a very good option. It's a very kind of sun-baked sort of fragrance, in my opinion. Very warm and kind of a comforting fragrance as well. Came out in the 1990s, so it's a little bit more recent compared to Le Mans, but has some nice florals, has some nice citrus notes. Very well balanced, hard to go wrong with it. So, the next one is Versace Bright Crystal. This, you could give it an idea of the notes inside here. Mainly yuzu, ice, pomegranate, peony, a little bit of musk, lotus flower. This is very, very light, very floral, somewhat similar to Red Door, but Red Door is much stronger. Almost a little bit like soapy, like body wash almost. So not everyone might like it because it is a little bit on the weak side, but the notes themselves are very nice, very feminine, sweet, floral, all that. Nicely balanced. It could be stronger, but for what it is, it's very nice. And it really matches spring. It's really, it matches everything that's going on in spring. So, next one is Miss Dior. And Miss Dior is a classic. It's been reformulated. This is the 2021 reformulation. Very floral and quite sweet. Sweet on the same level as Red Door. Even a little bit sweeter than Red Door, actually. Mostly floral notes contribute to that sweetness. There's a little bit of, musk, that sort of stuff, but the base notes are relatively subdued compared to all the florals that are stuffed into the middle and top notes. Super feminine. This and Red Door are some of the most feminine perfumes on the market, and perfect for spring. Really gets in with those florals, and hard to dislike unless you have something against florals for some reason. You're probably gonna enjoy Miss Dior. So now this next one is actually for men's fragrance, Dylan Blue. Some notes right there. So the thing about Dylan Blue for spring, for men or women, is that it's so refreshing and so bright. It's on the same level as Aqua Dijo, and it has a similar strength. Notes of bergamot, grapefruit, aquatic notes, black pepper, violet leaves, and a little bit of musk, so stuff like that. Super bold in how refreshing it is. The grapefruit is super strong, the aquatic notes are super strong, black pepper is kind of moderate, and then the musk notes are a little bit weak. But the top and middle notes, the kind of refreshing nature that you get from those, really sell the perfume or the fragrance, because it's just, it matches spring so well. The freshness in the air, it's still a bit crisp, very fresh. Now, it is very bold. Some people, especially women, might not like how bold it is. It's also a fougere fragrance, meaning it's aromatic. It has some ambrox and saffron, some herbs. So, if you don't like that, maybe it's not a good choice. But if you're looking for something strong, refreshing, citrusy, Dylan Blue is a good option. So then, last one, Versace Yellow Diamond here with the notes. This is similarly light to Bright Crystal, and it has notes of pear, neroli, and bergamot, along with some mimosa and amber wood, and a little bit of musk. But the amber wood and the musk are pretty faint. You're mainly going to get the pear and the bergamot and stuff like that, and the neroli. And the florals of the citrus are very nicely kind of wrapped up with each other, and this is a really nice kind of subtle fragrance, because it's definitely not a super projecting fragrance. It's more of I guess an intimate fragrance, and it's just very pleasant. Very pleasant. You can put on as much as you want. You're not going to bother anybody. Most people enjoy the notes that it has. It's just very bright, sunny, agreeable, a very nice perfume. So those are all the fragrances that I have on my list for spring fragrances. I'm sure there are many more that would also be a nice fit for spring, but that's all I have. If you have any other recommendations or opinions about spring fragrances, you can leave those down in the comments below. If you like the video, leave a like, maybe subscribe, and I make videos throughout the week, so stick around for those.